CM Punk just did something nobody expected. In the middle of Finn Bálor's hometown celebration, the voice of the voiceless delivered a moment of respect that has the entire wrestling world talking. What is up, Suplex Rumble faithful? Welcome back to the channel where we break down the moments that define professional wrestling. New to the family? Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because you do not want to miss the stories that keep us obsessed with this business. Today, we're diving into something absolutely fascinating, a moment that perfectly encapsulates what makes wrestling so compelling. We're talking about respect, rivalry, legacy, and two of the most polarizing yet beloved figures in modern wrestling. CM Punk and Finn Bálor, two men with very different paths, very different philosophies, and historically, very different perspectives on the wrestling business. But in Belfast, Northern Ireland, on Finn's home turf, something happened that shocked fans, surprised critics, and reminded us all that professional wrestling is full of layers we don't always see. Let's break down this incredible moment, what it means, and why it's generating conversation across the entire wrestling community. First, let's set the scene, because context is everything in professional wrestling. Belfast was already buzzing with energy. WWE was running a show in Northern Ireland, which as we know doesn't happen every day. The Irish wrestling community was out in full force, ready to celebrate their heroes, especially Finn Bálor, who was having his homecoming moment. The show had already delivered incredible action, the crowd was electric, and Finn had just finished an emotional entrance that brought the entire arena to its feet. We're talking about a standing ovation that lasted several minutes, fans crying, the whole 9 yards. Finn was soaking in the love from his people. The match is set, Finn Bálor is scheduled to compete, the energy in the building is through the roof, and everyone expects this to be a celebration from start to finish. But then, CM Punk's music hits. Now, for those who might not know the history here, CM Punk and Finn Bálor don't have a long, storied rivalry in WWE, but they represent two very different eras and philosophies in professional wrestling. Punk, the outspoken rebel who left WWE in controversial fashion and became a cult icon. Finn, the global traveler who worked his way through every major promotion with respect and professionalism. When Punk's music hits in the middle of Finn's celebration, the crowd doesn't know how to react. Is this an interruption? A confrontation? Is Punk about to rain on Finn's parade in his own backyard? Let's talk about CM Punk for a moment, because understanding him is crucial to understanding why this moment is so significant. CM Punk is one of the most complex figures in wrestling history. The man who delivered the infamous pipe bomb promo that changed the landscape of WWE. The straight-edge superstar who became WWE champion and main event pay-per-views. The rebel who walked away from the biggest wrestling company in the world at the peak of his popularity. Punk is known for speaking his mind, for calling out what he perceives as BS in the industry, for being brutally honest even when that honesty makes people uncomfortable. He's been critical of WWE, critical of certain wrestlers, critical of the way the business operates. His return to wrestling after years away was one of the biggest stories in the industry. Fans who thought they'd never see him in a ring again got their wish, and Punk has been on an absolute mission to prove he still belongs at the top. But here's the thing about Punk, and this is important, beneath the rebel persona, beneath the criticism and the controversy, there's a man who loves professional wrestling. He's someone who respects the craft, who appreciates workers who take the business seriously, who honors the tradition even while pushing for change. Throughout his career, Punk has shown respect to performers he believes have earned it, guys like Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, workers he came up with on the independent scene, people who paid their dues the same way he did. So when his music hits in Belfast, interrupting what's supposed to be Finn Bálor's night, the question becomes, which CM Punk are we getting? The respectful veteran or the disruptive rebel? Now let's talk about why Finn Bálor specifically is interesting in this dynamic. Finn represents everything Punk has said he respects about professional wrestling. Think about Finn's journey, he didn't take shortcuts, he didn't rely on politics or backstage maneuvering. He traveled the world, mastering his craft. Finn worked the independent scene in Ireland and the UK, learning the fundamentals, developing his character work. Then he went to Japan, where he became a bona fide star in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He was the leader of the Bullet Club, a 3-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, a wrestler who earned the respect of one of the toughest, most demanding wrestling cultures in the world. When Finn came to WWE, he didn't arrive as a rookie who needed to be taught the business, he came as a complete package. He became the first ever NXT champion, the face of the brand, and then the first ever WWE Universal Champion on the main roster. But beyond championships and accomplishments, Finn has always carried himself with professionalism and class. He doesn't play political games, he doesn't trash talk other performers publicly, he just puts his head down and works. This is exactly the type of performer CM Punk has historically praised, someone who respects the business, who earned their spot through talent and hard work, who represents wrestling on a global scale. There's also the parallel journeys both men have taken, both became champions, both have dealt with injuries at crucial moments, both have had to fight to stay relevant in an ever-changing industry, and both have passionate fan bases that consider them among the best in the world. So when Punk's music hits in Belfast, interrupting Finn's homecoming, there's this tension in the air, professional respect versus personal agendas. CM Punk walks out onto that stage, and the Belfast crowd is loud with mixed reactions. Some fans are booing because this is Finn's night. Others are cheering because, love him or hate him, Punk is must-see. Punk has a microphone in hand, and he's walking to the ring with purpose. Finn is standing in the center of the ring, still riding the high of his emotional entrance, and you can see him sizing up Punk, trying to read the situation. The two men stand face to face in the ring, and the arena goes quiet. This is a big moment, and everyone knows it. And then, CM Punk does something that catches everyone off guard. He extends his hand. Not in a sarcastic way, not with a smirk or a setup for an attack, a genuine handshake. The crowd gasps because this is not what anyone expected. Punk raises the microphone and says something to the effect of, "Finn, I know this is your night. I know Belfast came to see you. And I just want to say, in front of your people, in your country, that what you've accomplished in this business deserves respect." The crowd erupts. This is not the CM Punk they expected. This isn't the guy who comes out to trash people or steal the spotlight. Punk continues, talking about Finn's journey, from Ireland to Japan to NXT to WWE champion. He acknowledges the global respect Finn has earned, the way he's represented wrestling all over the world. He talks about how Finn has done things the right way, how he's never complained, never made excuses, just showed up and performed. "You're a world traveler who became a world champion," Punk says, "and that means something. There's a difference between being handed opportunities and earning them, and you earned everything you've got." The emotion in Punk's voice is genuine. This isn't a work, this isn't a setup for a heel turn, this is real respect between two professionals. Finn, clearly moved by this unexpected show of respect, shakes Punk's hand. The crowd is going absolutely crazy. We're talking about a standing ovation for both men. But Punk's not done. He raises Finn's arm in the air, presenting him to the Belfast crowd like a conquering hero. He's giving Finn the spotlight, putting him over in front of his own people. The two men embrace in the center of the ring, not a quick hug, but a genuine show of mutual respect. And then Punk steps back, applauds Finn, and leaves the ring, allowing Finn to have his moment. As Punk walks up the ramp, he turns back one more time, points at Finn, and nods with respect before disappearing through the curtain. Okay, let's break down why this moment is so significant for multiple reasons. First, from a character perspective, this shows the complexity of CM Punk. He's not a one-dimensional character. Yes, he can be abrasive, yes he can be critical, but he's also someone who recognizes and honors excellence when he sees it. This moment proves that Punk's criticisms of the business come from a place of wanting wrestling to be better, not from ego or negativity for its own sake. For Finn Bálor, this validation from someone like CM Punk, someone who doesn't hand out praise easily, elevates his status. When a legend like Punk publicly acknowledges your accomplishments, it adds weight to your legacy. This isn't a championship belt or a WrestleMania main event, but it's a different kind of honor, respect from your peers. From a storytelling perspective, this opens up fascinating possibilities. Is this a one-time moment of respect, or is it the beginning of a mutual admiration? Could we see these two team up? Could they become allies against a common enemy? Or is this setting up a future rivalry built on respect rather than hatred? Some of the best feuds in wrestling history have been between two performers who respect each other. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold and Bret, Daniel Bryan and CM Punk himself. When respect is the foundation, the competition becomes about proving who's better, not who can destroy the other. For the Belfast crowd specifically, this moment was perfect. They got to see their hero honored not just by the fans but by one of the most respected voices in modern wrestling. That's something they'll remember forever. And on a broader level, this moment reminds us that wrestling is at its best when it combines competition with respect, when it acknowledges real accomplishment, when it blurs the lines between the performance and the reality of two athletes who have dedicated their lives to this craft. The reaction to this moment has been incredible across the wrestling world. Social media exploded with fans sharing their thoughts. Longtime CM Punk fans were praising him for showing the side of his personality that made them fall in love with him in the first place. Finn Bálor fans were emotional about seeing their hero get recognized on such a big stage. Wrestling journalists and analysts were calling this one of the most genuine moments in recent memory. In an era where so much of wrestling is scripted and choreographed, when something feels real, it stands out. Other wrestlers were commenting too. Performers from WWE, AEW, independent promotions, all acknowledging that moments like this are what make wrestling special. The respect between workers, the acknowledgement of the journey, the celebration of achievement. Interestingly, there were also fans discussing the implications of this moment. Is WWE building toward a Punk and Finn alliance? Could we see them as a tag team? Is there a faction forming? Or is this setting up a future one-on-one match between them where the story is about mutual respect and competition rather than hatred? Even casual fans who might not follow every detail of wrestling storylines were moved by this moment because it transcended insider knowledge. You didn't need to know the backstories to understand that what you were witnessing was genuine emotion and respect. The video clips and fan recordings from the Belfast crowd showed people crying, not because of a dramatic storyline twist, but because they were witnessing something real in a business that's usually scripted. That's the power of authentic moments. CM Punk showing Finn Bálor major respect in Belfast wasn't just a feel-good moment, it was a reminder of what makes professional wrestling truly special. In a business built on rivalries, betrayals, and conflict, moments of genuine respect shine even brighter. They remind us that beneath the characters and the storylines, there are real athletes with real journeys, real struggles, and real respect for what each other has accomplished. This is why we love wrestling, folks. It's not always about the fights, sometimes it's about the acknowledgement, the validation, the celebration of excellence. CM Punk and Finn Bálor gave us a moment that will be remembered for years. So what do you think? Was this the best moment of respect you've seen in wrestling? What does this mean for both Punk and Finn moving forward? Do you want to see them team up or eventually face each other one-on-one? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I want to hear from all of you. If this moment gave you chills the way it gave me chills, smash that like button. Subscribe to Suplex Rumble if you haven't already because we bring you the best analysis, the deepest breakdowns, and the most passionate coverage of professional wrestling on YouTube. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment. Share this video with your wrestling friends. Moments like this deserve to be celebrated and discussed. Tag someone who needs to see this. I'm your host, and remember, in professional wrestling, sometimes the most powerful moments don't come from finishing moves or